My 38M girlfriend 33F is angry that she set herself up to fail, and I am entirely unsympathetic. I 38M am a self-employed building surveyor. A week before Christmas, a client got in touch and asked if I could facilitate an urgent job between Christmas and New Year. Having no kids and very little else to do in that period, and with the money being offered being substantial for the rush job, I agreed to 2 days' work, today and tomorrow 29-30 December. The client is great, the money is great, and I had no other plans. The work is in London, I live in the north of England, so it's hotel stays for me as is the norm for my business, staying Sunday night till Tuesday night and traveling back on Wednesday New Year's Eve to enjoy the festivities. I told my girlfriend 33F about this work I'd taken on, and she immediately wanted to come with me. I asked why and she said we could have a nice break in the capital and spend some time together. I told her that this isn't a holiday, it's work, and that she's welcome to join me if she can entertain herself, but I'm working so she better not moan about me getting up at 6 a.m. She said this was fine, she could see some friends and go to the markets, the shops, tourist stuff, etc. So I added her name to the hotel room and booked her a train ticket Central London. I'm not paying a fortune to park 45 minutes away from site. We traveled yesterday afternoon and got to the hotel, where the first issue arose. It's a budget hotel, part of a large chain that I regularly use with very basic facilities. She didn't think it was nice enough for a romantic break. I reminded her this is not a romantic break and I'm not spending business income on anything I don't need, like a swanky hotel room, and the room was booked before she asked to join. She pulled her face a bit but didn't say anything else about it. I got to my usual work routine, unpacking clothing, putting tools onto charge, then went to scout the property and nearby amenities. I told her I was off to do this, checked if she needed anything from the shops and headed out, with her just getting into the shower as I left. I returned about an hour later with my usual haul of bottled water, protein bars and bananas which sees me through the working day, till I find usually a kebab house or similar for a hot evening meal. I'm not poor by any means, but whatever is spent when away still comes out of my profits, so I try to stay reasonably cheap. When I returned around 6 p.m. by this time, she was dressed up in a nice outfit and partway through putting her makeup on. I assumed she'd made plans with a friend, so asked her where she was going. She got quite angry at this and snapped at me to put my nice clothes on so we could go out. I pointed out that I had not brought any nice clothes, and that I wasn't going out as I had worked the next morning. This went down like a lead balloon. She immediately started crying and saying I'd ruined her plans for a nice meal at some restaurant she'd apparently made a reservation for. I again reminded her that I'm not on holiday. I'm up at 6 a.m. and I was doing nothing more than eating, sleeping and playing on my Switch too, which aggravated her more. Cue more tears and another complaint about the hotel not being nice enough. I told her she's upset entirely due to her own actions and refusal to listen to me, and that I was not sympathetic to her tears when she unilaterally decided my work trip was our romantic getaway. She locked herself in the bathroom, so I went out and got us some food. By the time I returned, she seemed to have reflected upon everything and apologized to me. She'd gotten changed into her comfies. We ate, chilled out for a bit doom-scrolling, then watched a film before bed. I set my alarm for the morning and reminded her I was up at 6, then got in bed whilst she was finishing up in the bathroom. As she comes out of the bathroom, she makes a big thing about looking at her. As I had literally just got my head on the pillow, I told her whatever it was could wait to tomorrow and to get in bed. She shouted at me, I've put in all this effort, and you're not even going to look. So I reluctantly roll over, grab my glasses, flick the bedside lamp on and look over to see her in a very sexy maid's outfit with all the trimmings. She climbed onto the bed and immediately started trying to initiate sex, but I stopped her, told her yes, she looked amazing, but it's nearly midnight. I'm up in a few hours and need to get some rest. She shouted, well, fuck you, and locked herself in the bathroom again. I took my glasses off, flicked the light off and rolled back over to sleep. I'm not sure exactly how long afterwards I was in a semi-sleep state. She got into bed, gave me a hug and said she's sorry for shouting. I get up the next morning, got showered and dressed quietly, then gave her a quick kiss on the forehead, said I love her, was off to work and left. It was a pretty normal working day, nothing of note, and I left around 6 p.m. getting back to the hotel just before past. She was in the room when I got back and asked if she'd had a good day. She said she'd been shopping, as was evidenced by the various bags scattered around the place. I go get in the shower, and when I come out she tells me she's laid clothes out for me. I look on the bed to find a whole brand new outfit, shirt, trousers, and shoes. I told her thanks, but I was getting onto my comfy gear since I'd been in work gear all day. And she snapped, "You're not going out in your scruffs," which caught me off guard, so I asked why not. Which led to her informing me we were going for food and drinks with a friend of hers and the friend's husband. I lost my shit at this point. This was the third time in about 24 hours I'd reminded her I'm here for work, not whatever stupid idea she had in her head. She got upset at me calling her ideas stupid, but I countered with the fact that unilaterally planning romantic ideas on a working fucking trip was incredibly fucking stupid, which caused her to start crying. I told her I'm not interested in her crocodile tears. She's a full-grown woman who has elected to ignore everything she's been told, make plans for others they've no interest nor capability in undertaking, and she's now upset because she isn't getting what she wanted. She said I didn't care about her, which I flipped right back, pointing out she'd literally decided to ignore everything I told her repeatedly, and so she could sulk from now until 2036 if she wants, but she's entirely at fault for this and I'm taking no responsibility for her being upset as it's wholly self-inflicted. She was bawling her eyes out at this point, so I got dressed and went out to get food, texting her to let me know if she wanted anything. She immediately replied saying she's going home, open return train ticket thankfully. I got back to the hotel about 30 minutes ago and she has indeed packed up her stuff and left. I'm now sat alone in my hotel room, picking at the food I got for her, struggling with one simple question. How could I have made it any clearer that my work trip is not our romantic getaway?